Oh yes, everyone. Oh yes, it's time for another ignorant rant. But don't let that evil laugh make you turn this off, because if it does, well, man, I feel sorry for you in a zombie apocalypse. But it's not really a zombie apocalypse this ignorant rant is about. If you guys read it, basically yes. This is about Majora's Mask. Thanks to a special person called Rubiee. I don't know. She was a Link fan, and I kind of teased her and stuff. Well, anyways, a thought occurred. And also a very special thanks to Pwnapplez, aka Pedro, aka Peter, because this kind of is something interesting. So, like what he said, is that every single day you have to repeat the 3 days. Kind of like what Groundhog Day was, except it's 3 days instead of just this one day. And like he said, you can't save everyone. But here is my real complaint of it all. 1 minute. Here's my real complaint of it all. My complaint is kind of like, oh yeah, and also let me put side note, I don't care much for Link games / Zelda games. I don't care much for those. But this one actually would spike my interest if they actually did it this way. Of course, this was made for Nintendo 64, meaning that they wouldn't have the technology. And even today, they kind of do have the technology, but they won't actually have the technology for... Oh, wait a minute. Mario Kart DS actually had the... Yeah, you were able to race the Mario... But the thing is that what I'm talking about actually includes at least, I would say, up to 10, maybe 20 ghost files. Yes. So think about it. This is technically kind of like what happened in Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, even though the movie doesn't do book justice for the book. Either way, you had Hermione, who actually had this clock device that able to take her back to a different time. And it's kind of like what you wish you could do in college, actually. But you can't, because we don't have that technology just yet. Or, sadly, I would say we won't actually have that technology until, shoot, I would say 1,000, 3,000 years. We're that behind. Well, either way, what I'm talking about is that when you use it, oh yeah, that won't work either, because, oh darn, never mind, ignorant rant destroyed. But I'm gonna go with it anyways, just to be cool. Let's say the Ocarina of Time, when you use the Ocarina, what if you do get sent back in time, but you still have your presence in time, meaning that every time you go back in time, that means that now you are another you back in that time, meaning that the one, like when you first start the game and start doing everything all the way to the end of the first 3 days, well, the end of the 3 days, and then you have to go against Majora, then it kind of goes to the point of, as soon as you use that song and go back in time, then basically now you have this one that actually went against Majora, and yeah, so you basically have that. I would say the only way how to make this actually cool, actually make it the way I was thinking about, is maybe if the Skull Kid with the Majora's Mask actually did something bad to the Ocarina. He actually put some kind of curse on it. So, yeah, so you basically have this challenge mode. Why not create a challenge mode for Majora's Mask? So, in this challenge mode, this time, you have to be careful, because if you bump into any of your old versions of yourself, you'll be instantly killed. So, yeah, you have this awesome, cool thing that's going down, which is basically the crazy idea of you have to be mindful on what exactly you're doing. Yeah, so basically this is the one where you actually have to have a pencil and a pad and write down your exact strategy, so you can't actually bump into yourself or instant game over and you have to start all over again and then remember where you were at the specific time. But also doing this, it basically makes the crazy idea of then now not only you'll have this, but that means that excuse me, that means that your ghost data that is there most likely will have the thing that you should have, even though it depends on what they want to do with it. That's what it really depends on, is what they want to do with it. I mean, they could actually make it so that every time you see your old self slash your ghost data, you get an instant game over. On the other hand, they could actually just make it so that it's like, oh, cool, I see myself. All right, well, I'm going to do this other mission now. So it's basically like everyone gets a check mark. Every single, which I guess that's what the Bomber's Guide is a check mark for every single time you did something. But like he said, yeah, like what Peter said, he actually said that no matter what you do every single 3 days, you pick one person or one person to save or a few people to save versus everyone who is actually in trouble. So that's just an interesting idea. But in this challenge mode, I'm actually thinking of, since, yeah, the Ocarina of Time, chances are, it actually allows to cover your tracks. So whatever you did in the previous 3 days, now you basically didn't do it at all, which, yeah, it looks like this is the first Ignorant Rant that I actually just straight up got punched in the kidneys. But hey, I still have this challenge mode idea. And this challenge mode idea is most likely will piss so many people off, because that's what's going to happen with this whole entire video game of the challenge mode of Majora's Mask. It's the fact that you are now in trouble. Now you have to remember exactly what you did the first 3 days. Yeah, so when you did like this activity, now you have to be careful, because if you did this certain activity, then if you go there and do the activity again without waiting for you to actually leave, or maybe you quit the game, which I think you can't actually save and quit. Instead, you actually have to run to that place. So that's what most likely was happening, is that as soon as you finish that thing, you have to run to that place. So basically now you have lots and lots of places to hide within Majora's Mask. So you have like lots of shadow crevices or shadow corners that you can actually hide. So as soon as you do that, you just have to wait. And most likely, I think you can zoom time, so that's the cool part. Which I think it's basically backwards in time. I would make it to that, because if they do forwards in time too, then that's like big trouble. But yeah, I think only backwards in time, that's when a copy of yourself was created with the ghost data, and now you have to be careful of that one. So that means that now you have to be very smart on what you do, because if you're not smart and you just said, oh crap, I did this messed up wrong, now I have to go back. Yeah, now you just created a ghost of your self version of yourself, and now you have to actually figure out when you did it. And then, yeah, this is just an amazing, funny paradox thing that could happen in Majora's Mask to make more people angry, along with a beautiful challenge in Majora's Mask itself. Of course, you could also, if Nintendo really wants to and they want to become turtle jerks, they'll basically just say, what if not only that, but your ghost data has the thing that you need? Meaning, since you finish one task with the ghost data, like for instance, you needed to get the fairy mask. Well, guess what? By the power of the ruined ocarina, that means that your ghost data has the mask. Meaning not only you have to be careful of your previous self, but you also have to steal the mask away from yourself. Which would cause, well, I don't really know. I guess when you're able to touch the mask or something, you make a copy of it or some kind of crap, or they make something brand new. They have to do something brand new to make it so that you're able to do your task with the first or whichever ghost data you have to deal with. And yeah, they're gonna have to create some new object to make it a copy or something. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's one thing that do have to deal with, unless they're going to create even more chaos. Just the fact of You stole the fairy mask. Now, because you stole the fairy mask, that means that you can't really do. Yeah, that means your ghost data will get kind of screwed up a little bit. So I don't really know what to do on that circumstance, but I would just say I think it will be kind of cool if they actually do this paradox chaos thing. The fact that you have ghost data now that you have to be afraid of, because if you don't beware of your ghost data, well, guess what? Crash, game over, you died. You have to start back to where you were with the ghost data, I guess. Either with the ghost data or if you actually saved your game at a certain point before you start, which that's what most likely will be the smart thing is now, since you went back in time for the first time ever or for the nth time, you basically now have to go save it right quick, and as soon as you save it, now you're able to start back where you were instead of back of what happened in the previous data, if it makes any sense. But anyways, this is not even an ignorant rant anymore because, well, the Ocarina of Time is very, very magical and most likely makes sure that you are completely contained, meaning that when you go back in time, it basically is just you. There is no other copy of yourself during that time while you do this 3-day thing. Which I kind of would like it to have a challenge mode eventually, someday. Which that would be cool. So, yeah, the newer version of the Majora's Mask, I mean, like a newer version after this version, might have a challenge mode that is kind of like what I'm talking about. But, of course, it's if Nintendo is listening to me, which most likely they won't listen. But if they are listening, I would say, hello, Nintendo, and if you do take my idea, please give me royalties. Please, for the love of God, give me royalties, man. I'm dying over here. I have to fight for a penny from a little kid that's on the street. I saw the little penny on the street, and I got the penny. And then the kid had the penny, and we had it like, you know, and then I had to pimp slap the kid, and then run with the penny, because the kid was like, that's my penny, give it back, I saw it first. Yeah, so I had to freaking do that. Please, Nintendo, give me royalties if you ever think of this idea or find my idea. Please. But anyways, this has been Ignorant Rant. And for anyone who is pissed off by this idea of, oh my gosh, you're going to intensify the game of Majora's Mask like this, go ahead and yell about it. Yell about it. And, well, that's what Ignorant Rant is all about. The fact that you should come over here and yell saying, oh my gosh, they shouldn't do this, or much worse of, dude, you're an idiot. But anyways, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more Ignorant Rant. One second, let me just check this out real quick. What the hell? Oh, what the hell's this? Bizarro World. And I guess, yeah, this is the bad timing to actually... Wow, what the frick? Oh man, Bizarro World and Teen Titans Go sucks. Wow. Man, this is sad. Great smile fashion. Boy beast. As far as a whip go getter. Any boy in the universe. Wow. Ew. Hold on. I'm glad to say that most likely you're never going to hear this, so I could just say Teen Titans suck. Why in the frick are they throwing Robin straight into the ground? They are freaking dirtying his name. I mean, I swear, if Robin's gonna be like this, then chances are Robin comics will never see the light of day yet again, because they're bastards.